So, Mr. Sharpe, yesterday you challenged me to come out today with the same energy I had yesterday. So, here you go. How about them Cowboys? Oh, woo, woo, woo. Oh. Now, back to our regularly scheduled program.
Okay, Skip, you know what, Skip? I can't even. I mean, that was very impressive, and I'm proud of you. You won. Bro, you know I got to shake your hand for that one. I got to
shake my hand?
I got to shake your hand for that. I got to shake your hand.
I got a handshake.
I got to shake your hand for
that. That's a first in the history of Undisputed.
It is.
I also get a fist bump.
Yeah, you get a fist bump.
Right. It's deserved.
But you know what, Skip? Today is my son's birthday. I wish him a happy birthday.
Okay.
It would have been a really happy birthday, son. I'm sorry for the down move.
Yeah, well.
But this man right here, and sorry, Cowboys.
Well, sorry, Cowboys.
Your day coming, Skip Bayless.
Yep.
I love it.
Alex, how are you doing today?
I'm doing
How are you,
fabulous.
Alex?
I'm loving the energy. You guys are picking me up. This is great.
Skip Bayless, you got me. I can't even say nothing, Skip.
Yes, you can. I want to hear you break this down.
I'm going to break it down.
While it breaks you up.
This hurts, Skip. This hurt.
This is a beautiful moment.
Hurt.
This is.
Can we just end the show right
No!
now? Yeah?
We did it, Jack.
Shannon, how surprised were you by last night's game?
I was very surprised, but Skip, I was more surprised at the end result. Now, if someone told me the Cowboys are going to win, but they're going to kick a walk-off field goal, it's going to be a 30-27 ball game, 27-24 ball game, okay, I can live with that. But not 13-10. Not this offense that has scored 51 on the road, that had scored 48 against the Eagles, that just scored, 40 against the Falcons. They're averaging 37 points a game. And to get held to 10 points and going into the game, Drew Brees was the favorite, but my homeboy's back in this ring. Now, we'll talk about that a little later.
We will.
We'll talk about that a little later. 10 points. Drew Brees, 127 yards, an interception and a touchdown. And the Cowboys did what you told them they need to. And I don't even think you thought they would possess the ball as long as they possessed it last night. Basically, almost 37 minutes. Basically, 36-57.
It was 37-23.
Yeah. And that's a recipe for success. But I think, Skip, for me, I thought Sean Payton called a terrible game. I thought he panicked early. I thought he didn't think, watching the game, it seemed to me that he didn't think his defense was going to settle down because the Cowboys went right down the field. They got a field goal, went right back down the field. I think they got a touchdown. And I think it forced him to panic. He went for it on fourth down really early in the ball game when he didn't really need to do it. And I think him being in panic mode forced his offense to be in panic mode. And it seemed like, as Drew said, they were never able to get a rhythm. For me, is Mark Ingram still on the team, Skip? Because for a second there, I didn't think he dressed. And I'm like, well, what's going on? Why is Mark Ingram not in this ball game? He wasted his challenges early. It came back to bite him. Skip, I tweeted this in real time. I said, Beasley's down. His knee hit way before the first down.
No challenge.
No challenge. And Skip, why on earth would you burn a timeout at 2:03? Because you're going to get, what's 3 seconds? Now, by doing that, they come out of the time. Now they come, and the Cowboys can throw the ball, which they did, with no repercussions because the 2-minute warning is going to stop the clock anyway. Why not just take it to the 2-minute warning and then burn your timeout? I don't understand. I just thought Sean Payton panicked at that moment, Skip. And give the Cowboys credit. The Cowboys' front seven is unbelievable. I feel very comfortable in saying this, Skip. The tackling Dutchman, Vander Esch, and Jalen Smith are the best two linebackers in football. They have the best tandem.
It's a mouthful.
I don't know if they're, individually, but they fly around. And when they get there, you go into the ground. They're not missing tackles. Jalen Smith is unbelievable because they ran a swing pass to Kamara out the backside. He forced one guy to miss. Jalen Smith started on the other side. He flew to the ball and tackled Kamara before he got into the end zone. They're unbelievable.
Big play.
That front seven was as good as it got last night.
I'm starting to think the back four's not bad either.
They do a lot of holding. But I tell you what, Eli Apple is rotten to the core. He's terrible, Skip. They showed a stat last night, Skip, and I couldn't hear the sound. But he had 4 targets. I saw 3 catches, but they forgot that pass interference. So good things, when they threw the ball at Eli Apple, good things happened for their team. There's a reason why the Giants gave up on him after 2 years, Skip. That's not a surprise. When you have a draft pick and teams like, nah, we good after 2, yeah, you real bad. Give the Cowboys credit. We're going to talk about this a little later. you're still not winning the division.
We will talk about that in just a little bit. But first, we're going to talk about what happened last night. Because the first statement I would like to make is that was the most action-packed 13-10 game I have ever seen in my life, in my career. 1,000 things happened. We need 5 hours of show today instead of 2.5 hours to talk about every little big thing that happened in that game. I'll take that game over the Rams and the Chiefs on the Monday night. Just me. I mean, I know you're a big Rams fan.
You just like because the Cowboys won.
But was it not edge of seat the whole way home for a 13-10 game? And again, I thought it would be a little lower scoring. I had 24-23.
No, you mean a little higher scoring.
But I mean lower compared to everybody else who's picking this in the 30s. You had 33-23.
Yes.
Okay, so I went 24-23. No way did I see 13-10.
No.
But I did tell you all week I had a feeling. And the feeling was that my team could win the time of possession and the game of keep away. And they did do that. I said yesterday, 35 minutes to 25 minutes, and it was 37-23. And that is the bottom line to this football game. But the point is, I just thought my defense, which was 29th in the league in allowing third downs, I thought it could just basically hang in with Drew Brees. Just hang in for a 24-23 win. Drew Brees came in playing the greatest quarterback we've ever seen in the history of the National Football League. His QBR was on pace to be the record QBR ever. And obviously, this team came in leading this league in scoring at 37 points a game, including 48 against the Philadelphia Eagles, the reigning Super Bowl champs, and 43 against the other division rival, the Washington Redskins. So given all that, given what this defense did last night, and I am a Cowboy historian, that was the single greatest defensive performance in Cowboy history. Now, they've had more star-studded defenses. They probably had greater defenses, the doomsday of the 70s that dominated, and then that Dion Charles Haley defense in 1995. It was hellacious.
What about the D in the first Super Bowl? They got that held Buffalo to 19.
Okay, but that's that same run through the 90s dynasty. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
But what they did on degree of difficulty against this team on this role, because in New Orleans' last 4 games, they'd averaged 44 a game. They held them to 10 points.
Man.
That's impossible. New Orleans scored 1 tainted touchdown because the touchdown pass to Kirkwood, I thought he just pushed Anthony Brown away. He just shoved him away. Yeah. That's a flag. And this, as Mike Pereira said on our air, I know you don't listen to the sound, but this referee crew was star-studded, but it had a bad night. It had a bad night on both sides. Both teams got some horrendously bad calls that they had to overcome, and nearly both sides did.
They need to stop doing that, though, Skip. They need to let the crew stay together that's been together and stop trying to make it an all-star crew.
Okay, but I'm going to remind you that this is the same Drew Brees who in 2013 on a Sunday night against the Dallas Cowboys, coached by our guy who comes on our show occasionally, Rob Ryan, as the defensive coordinator, Drew Brees set an NFL record with 40 first downs, 40 first downs. Last night, he went 3 for 11 on third down. 26. What, 3 for 11? My pass rush made him uncomfortable all night.
Did he look scared?
It hit him. It made him look a little hurried. It made him look a little harried. It harassed him. And in the end, I think it got to him a little bit psychologically because those 2 linebackers you mentioned were flying around like guided missiles from sideline to sideline. Byron Jones just might be playing as good a shutdown number 1 corner as there is in the league. I know he had a couple of grabs last night, but still, you put him on the number 1 and you just say, do it, and he can do it at a pretty high level. I'm not sure anybody's playing at a much better level than he is.
I agree with you.
And how many Drew Brees games do you watch where receivers you haven't even heard of are just running wide open, right? Every game you just see him throwing a party on people.
Right.
He's wide open, and Drew usually just sits back there. I'll try him this time for a touchdown, right?
Right.
I saw nobody run wide open last night. Did you see one wide open receiver?
You did.
Every throw was challenged. Every throw.
And guess what, Skip? Now, you remember the last couple of weeks, every throw that was challenged, they came down with it. Nobody came down with a contested throw last night.
Nobody came down. The Saints,
no one.
Sometimes I wanted my guy to come down with it, but at least they were on the carpet, right?
Correct.
So the point was that just given all that, despite all that, in the end, as well as my guy, Dak Prescott, played, and we're going to give him a letter grade here in a little bit on the show, he did some very good things, and he did some bad things. And
bad.
The worst thing happened late in the game. It's 2:42 to go. It's a 3rd and 5 at the 6-yard line, and at least I need 3. Just give me 3 because Drew Brees is still standing on that sideline looking at his tablet ready to come in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what happens? Cam Jordan happens. He blows up Lyle Collins right in Dak's face and knocks the ball out of his hand, and I am sunk. And I just fell on the floor. I'm a little hoarse this morning from screaming at the TV. So at that point, I'm looking at Drew Brees, and I'm going to remind you that on game-winning drives, historically, Drew Brees ranks 3rd all-time with 45 game-winning drives. That's a little better than Tom Brady in 4th place with 44, 45 to 44. Drew Brees is just about as clutch as Tom Brady, and that stat says he's at least as clutch, if not a little clutcher. So I'm thinking at that point, please just give me overtime. Hold them to a field goal because their kicker is deadly accurate, right?
Yep.
So I'm thinking, okay, just a field goal and maybe we can win the toss and do something great in overtime. And the most shocking thing happened that I've seen in probably a decade. Drew Brees threw the worst interception I've ever seen him throw, especially under the circumstance. I've looked at it 100 times this morning, and I still can't figure out exactly what he was doing. But the point was, here it is. He throws it flat-footed, falling back. Now, Malik Collins did a spin move and came in his face.
Right in his face.
And at first I thought Malik Collins got his fingertips on it. Because you want to talk about a duck? He threw a dying quail of a duck. It's fluttering, and it's actually a little bit of a curveball away from Kamara, who breaks outside, and it missed him by 5 yards. And little Jordan Lewis is just playing zone, man. He's just standing there, and it's like, huh?
Skip,
and he made a nice catch, but
Skip, if you remember, he almost got one picked in the first half.
He
threw the exact same situation.
And it was the same player, Jordan Lewis.
Yep.
I thought he should have caught that one.
Right. And the thing was, Skip, you're right. We haven't seen Drew Brees play this bad in a very long time, and he definitely hadn't played this bad this year. Give the Cowboys some credit, but I just thought, because it just seemed to me that Sean panicked. There was no reason, Skip, to go for it on 4th down. None whatsoever. Just take the field goal.
That's who he is. That's who he's always been.
I think because the Cowboys had such success early, moving the ball against his defense, he didn't feel like his defense was going to be able to settle down.
I just think he's a front runner, and he's full of himself, and he thinks he's got the most potent offense ever. It's like, a yard? We can get a yard.
But you said Dak did the unthinkable when he fumbled on the 6th.
Yep.
It should have never been that. Michael Gallup had a wide-open touchdown.
Okay.
And Dak overthrew him by 10 yards.
I agree.
You can't do that.
Okay, he hit him in the first quarter for 40, and I give him that.
That was a great play. That was a great throw.
He just missed him. He threw it with conviction. I'll always take the overthrow versus the underthrow on that. He didn't choke and pull the string on it. He stepped into it and just flat out overthrew it.
But
I agree. I fell on the floor on that one.
When he's that wide open, Skip, even if you have to make him stop.
I know.
Yes.
I got it. I got it. But he did a whole bunch of warrior things. He is a warrior winner.
Those 2 first downs that he got scrambling was huge for him.
So, to cap off what happened at the end of the game, even though Drew Brees throws the interception, it ain't over yet because there's still way too much time left, and you've got to pull something off to kill the clock.
Right.
So what do? They threw it into the end zone to an Amari Cooper, who, by the way, got 8 targets last night, and guess how many passes he caught? 8. 8 for 8 on targets. Is that wavelength? Is that rapport? Is that connection with the quarterback?
He's good. I mean, you watch him when they re-showing the clips of how he's getting open. I'm telling you, he's very patient. He's fundamentally sound.
And he can run after the catch.
Yeah.
He had one breakaway on Marshawn Lattimore, which brings me to Marshawn.
Rookie defensive player of the year.
You got it. So on the throw into the end zone at the end of the game, at first I didn't think so, but he did reach and hold on to Amari's inside arm. He grabbed his arm just briefly, but enough. I'm good with the flag. It was a worthwhile flag. It was justified. But you know why it was justice on this play? Because what did Marshawn Lattimore do when Amari Cooper was forced to fumble in the first half? What did he do? He immediately ran all the way to Zeke's kettle at the end of the back of the end zone, and he put $23 in it because he wears number 23. I guess he thinks he's Michael Jordan. I don't know who he thinks he is. But he put $23 in the kettle, obviously premeditated.
Yeah.
It was an in-your-face Zeke in Zeke's house. It was akin to, maybe not quite, but it's like celebrating on the star.
Yeah.
Isn't it close to? Because that's Zeke's cattle, man.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay? And as soon as he did that, I tweeted, make him pay for the donation he just made. Make him pay. And I think in the end of the game, justice prevailed because he paid with a pass interference penalty that ended the game.